What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran, and we're going to start going through an Unplugged album. I wasn't aware they did an MTV Unplugged album, but apparently they did one in 1993 in New York, New York. Big shout out to friend and champion of the channel, Adam. I was going through the Duran umbrella folder and I saw this in there. Ultimately, it's a short track list in that there's only 8 tracks, but I was looking at the track listing which shows the duration, and each one of them seems to be a bit longer than the studio version. So I imagine, rearrangement into an acoustic format, maybe it's a bit extended. Maybe there's just, 30 seconds to a minute of talking between each of the tunes. I used to have the Nirvana Unplugged album, and obviously, there's talking between the songs and sort of joking around, so I imagine that might account for some of it. Nevertheless, I am keen to go through it, and we're going to start with Planet Earth, their first single. I've listened to a few versions of this recently, including William Shatner and his hilarious comedic version. Nevertheless, it's a song I really enjoy. I think it's sort of indicative of the sound I now understand them to have hit the scene with, and ultimately, I just love the chorus. I love the sort of sequencing of the tune. So let's get it. This is Planet Earth, a live performance Unplugged in New York, New York from 1993. In a way, it's not all that far away, but it does have a very different feel. And that's especially where it comes across.
I have been stuck on something precious, let me know if you're coming down to land. Is there anybody out there trying to get through? My eyes so cloudy I can't see you. But now look all around. Inside the light, voices, another sound. Can you hear me now?
Tell, it sounded like one of the violinists was doing some interesting things. I am thinking of Shatner in that moment. I apologize. Depending on the section, it feels closer or farther away from the original, but it's awesome. It's like This part feels like if you mix the Rolling Stones with Duran. Is it a flute? What is that? It's so like subtle. Touch. Got some afters. No afters. Nevertheless, I enjoyed that a lot. Again, like not just with that sort of Rolling Stones moment. There were a couple of sections, particularly when it had that sort of more reconfigured section, given the sort of acoustic performance, where it was reminding me of like 60s music. It was like Duran playing like 60s tunes, or you know, sort of a Duran done in a style of sort of, you know, more edgy kind of 60s music like the Stones, I suppose. Nevertheless, I will also say, like, the first half of the tune, once it got to that shift where the piano came in, and like, it didn't really feel this way after that, but the first half of the tune, there were a couple moments where I felt like, are there similar like chord progressions in this tune and Ordinary World, or maybe did they like color this performance to kind of like have a bit of the feel of Ordinary World? Because there were a couple moments where like it felt like it could like transition into that. You could do like a medley into that. So I don't know why I was sort of getting that vibe. And again, maybe that was just in my head. Maybe they sort of, you know, slightly altered the performance to sort of give it a feel not entirely unlike the album, which, you know, as I was beginning the reaction, I was thinking about, okay, so this is right after the Wedding album comes out, which, you know, I realize, and through the information a number had provided, you know, going back several months now, but that this was a huge album. It sort of like put them back on the map, put them back in the spotlight, and was, you know, very critically acclaimed. And as I mentioned before, you know, just to reiterate, I remember Duran songs from my youth, and then, you know, I was sort of like doing my own thing and listened to Depeche Mode and some other groups, and then it got to the early 90s, and even though I was beginning to get into punk rock and some other things, I do remember hearing Come Undone, Ordinary World on the radio and thinking like, damn, like, you know, they're still around and they sound good. So yeah, obviously, you know, it was, I think, perhaps the reason they got an Unplugged album is because that was, you know, really successful, and they was like, wait, like, you know, they have more to tell us. Nevertheless, cool performance. Looking forward to hearing some of the other versions. Like Ordinary World, I wonder if it'll be akin to the acoustic version I reacted to, which is amazing. It like made me really emotional in the last half, especially. But I wonder if it'll be similar, you know, maybe a similar arrangement, but because it's a live performance, it may not sound identical. Perhaps it's not even arranged the same. Perhaps it's an entirely new acoustic arrangement. Nevertheless, looking forward to hearing that. Do let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.